This video is going to teach you the difference between delegation creating a robot and delegation creating a team member. My name is Rob Witt. I manage a team of over 30 people. Currently, I'm managing $150 million in sales per year, and I want to teach you how I've been able to scale that to double the size of the team that I'm managing, I suppose triple the size of the team I'm managing within just a few years, and how I'm able to scale that sustainably and actually with less stress. So the traditional definition of delegation is you give a task to someone and you're holding them accountable. And all that really means, all accountability means, that you're following up with them and you're actually caring about whether or not they get it done, and you're insisting that they get it done in a way that is reasonable and in a way that is at a high enough quantity and a high enough quality that it replaces the actual work. So whenever you're managing something, you're always making sure that you're getting people to get the work completed and make sure that the work is in a condition that it can be exchanged with the customer or whoever the other people that care about that. So, and as an example, if you're delivering a product or a service to a customer, that's the exchange. But if you're internal, if you're like a finance person or something, then the exchange occurs between you and the business owners. In that case, bills paid on time, money received correctly, records kept so that decisions can be made. So whenever I delegate, I'm always making sure that I'm delegating not just the actual tasks and what I want someone to do, but I'm delegating the overall viewpoint and responsibility that I want that person to have and to maintain. So as an example, if you're delegating someone to be an executive assistant, as an example, potentially, you're not just saying, great, well, I want you to book the schedule and I want you to manage the emails, and when you do this email, you do this. Now, I am doing that. You have to do that. That is what you want someone to be doing, and that is very important. But I also want them to understand the viewpoint of why I'm doing those things, because I know that unless I have a position really, really well documented, which in small businesses is the ideal, but often something that you're working towards. So I'm often relying on them to some degree to do the documentation and to figure some things out. So I'm delegating, I'm saying, good, so this is the overall push of where I want you to drive towards, and you're going to do that by doing X, Y, Z, and ABC tasks, but I want them to be able to add some of their own creativity, their own solutions into that. So I'm making sure that I'm pushing forward how I want them to achieve that. So another example here is, I have a position on my team, and their job is to check over all of our client accounts every single day, some of them multiple times a day, and make sure there's no problems or issues or errors. And for a while, I was having a problem where they would detect something that needed to be addressed by either myself or the account manager, and they would send a Slack message or something, and then later on, the client would get upset because it wasn't handled. And I'd say, well, what happened? And they'd say, oh, well, I reported it. Well, what'd you do? Oh, well, I sent a message. Did you hear back? No. Okay, well, did you follow up? No. Okay, well, realize that the reason we're doing this checklist, this check on the account every day, is to detect these problems. And the reason we're detecting them is so we can handle them. So you have to take responsibility for also making sure that it's actually handled. If you're on fire watch duty or something, and you say, oh, well, I reported the fire to the fire department. Did they come? No. Okay, well, did you make sure that they actually received it? Were they sleeping? Or whatever it is. You can't just say, oh, well, I reported it and that's the end of my job. No, you need to make sure that you're pushing forward all the way through to a completed product and a completed resolution of that problem. And I know that the better I'm able to communicate the overall goal and purpose of that position, the more they're able to think with what I'm trying to do, and then they're able to make decisions. In the very beginning of onboarding someone, yes, I am teaching them. I'm not saying don't teach them the steps and let them figure out themselves. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I am saying, I'm going to go into the sun here, what I am saying is also teach them why you're trying to do it, why you want them to do it, what their overall goal is, how that's valuable to the company or to the clients, why that's important, why it needs to be maintained. And then that gives them, once you drill that in, it takes some time, it's longer than just saying do this, but once you really drill that in, then you don't have to micromanage people. because they're able to be responsible themselves. They're able to push forward themselves. And that's the ultimate goal. You still have to supervise them, but once you drill that in, it requires much, much less supervision. So whenever I'm delegating to someone or I'm onboarding a new person, yes, I am telling them the exact steps I need them to do, but I'm also making sure they understand why it's important, and make sure they're understanding what their overall mission is, what their goal is, so that they can think for themselves. It's a bit of like a decentralized command structure in some way, and I found that to be much, much more successful, especially in small companies. And I say small, meaning like less than 1,000 people, because you need people to be able to think for themselves and not always rely on you to solve their problems. Hope that helps. Again, when you're delegating, make sure you tell people why they're doing it and what the overall mission is, and hold them accountable to that, not just the actual doing this is. Okay, thanks guys.